I have no idea where it's being recorded, but we will find out. Okay. This is, as I said, a very, very short class. Fortunately, I think it hasn't actually started yet. Just starting now. Okay.
I think Auden's in it.
Yeah, Auden and Holly.
Hello?
You guys in?
Hey.
Hey, what's
Oh,
up?
there.
Wonderful.
Hey.
Welcome, Holly. I think we actually have a quorum now. We'll see whether the others manage to join us. Does anybody know where Aaron stays?
He's in, but he's not like.
He's at the bottom.
He's not
Yeah,
talking.
Okay.
And my camera doesn't work. It never
Sorry.
has. So
My
Oh, I hear you.
don't worry about
what's
me.
up? All right.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, there's Aaron. We have.
Is my video not showing?
Everybody, let's.
My camera just
No,
does not.
It is.
Okay,
When
your video is working. Holly, if you go to the bottom left on the
Just click on
on your
those.
little stuff, it'll say stop video or start video.
Yeah, start video. Yeah.
So whenever you talk, it shows your face, but when you talk, you can't see it.
Yeah. Also, what you can do is you can make it so the
Okay.
little people go down to the and go to the right, like kind of subtract or minimize.
How do you do that?
If you go to the, let's see.
Oh, you're saying you can have more than one video at once? Oh,
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool. Oh, now it went away.
Okay. Wonderful. And I see Esther.
Hi, Esther.
Hi.
Esther's in.
Oh,
My
yeah.
goodness.
Esther's in.
Welcome everyone. This is absolutely super. We had everybody on board. This is great. Okay, I leave it, as I always do, up to you what you'd like to cover. One of the big ones is, of course, learning how to use all of this stuff and making sure it works properly. And as far as I can tell, it's going to. I open the floor to you folks to make a suggestion, and then we'll go through the agenda or whatever you suggest. Go ahead. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Trevor, of course, you have handed in a project to be graded, and Holly, you have also handed one in. I don't see Holly. Are you up there on the screen?
No, my camera just has never worked, so.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. We know what you look like. Okay. So shall we just go through the agenda here?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. The basics are, I'm hoping and intending, because this is working so well, if it's all right with you folks, that I will start another one and schedule another one for 10 o'clock. This will probably only work for about half an hour or 40 minutes. And then I'll schedule another one at 10 o'clock. And, okay, I'm hearing a lot of interesting cross conversation here.
Who's
Mute the
that?
mic.
It's not me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Is it a green screen?
Yeah, that's cool. Is that an actual green screen at your house?
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome.
The
The
green,
green screen?
Yeah, Mr. Tischel screen.
Okay.
the grass
Did-
screen, actually.
Yeah.
That's not me.
This, okay, I added this one because I figured you needed some more material, and I had already added the Winnie the Pooh one. Now, trust me, Winnie the Pooh is some of the most delicious writing you've ever come across.
A
In its
quote over my
original.
door.
Childhood would agree.
Oh, do you? Wonderful. I'm so proud of you folks. Wonderful.
Yeah, I
Um,
listened to it, the audiobook by A.A. Milne. Like, he read it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to mention there, though I don't have it in front of me somewhere, Oh, I was intending to have the book in front of me, but I don't. Everything went to last.
Yes, please.
Bless you.
There's a poem towards the end of the House of Pooh Corner, which I looked at and suddenly realized, I'm not sure I remember it well enough to do it for you, but the butterflies are flying and the summer's almost dying and the primroses are trying to be seen and the turtle doves are cooing and the woods are up and doing and and the violets are bluing in the green. Now this is listen to that and you think about it. The turtle doves are cooing and the woods are up and doing and the violets are bluing in the green. Do you recognize the rhetorical device that's being used in that? Do you know what it's called? Okay, as I told you before, it's not important to remember the names of these devices, but it's nice to know what they are at least. And the use of one part of speech, of a word that is one part of speech and forcing it to be another part of speech, that is called antimeria, which is an odd word. If you look it up, A-N-T-H-I-M-E-R-I-A, you'll find that the first thing that the Free Dictionary does is refer you to A-N-T-I-M-E-R-I-A, saying that that's the more common usage. But when you look that one up, you find it's not in the dictionary. In any case, it's that's what it's called, antimeria. And he uses it beautifully here. Which word is being is the antimeria word?
Blue.
Right. The violets are bluing in the green, and he goes on with the cows are almost cooing and the turtle doves are mooing, and that's why a poo is pooing in the sun. So he does exactly the same thing later on. A wonderful rhetorical device. And of course, all of this was lost on so many people who've only seen Pooh through the eyes of Disney. Because
unfortunate.
None of that was really appreciated very much.
I actually have a quote from Winnie the Pooh.
You have a what?
A quote.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay, it says, if the person you are talking to doesn't appear to be listening, be patient. It may simply be that he has a small piece of fluff in his ear. Winnie the Pooh.
That's funny.
Right. One of the things that Pooh speaks about a number of times, and of course, when I listened to these when I was a child, I didn't really understand or appreciate what was coming across. But when he talks about, I need to write a hum, but you don't write hums. He's talking about poetry, of course.
Yeah.
They come to you. You don't go to them. And that's an interesting point. And then he explains, well, the only way to do it then is to go where they're going to find you. And again, you want to be able to cultivate that kind of creativity and just be where it's going to be. There's so many poems there that I would like to introduce you to, and so much I'll throw at you. But let me talk about The Wind in the Willows page. Has anybody had a chance to visit that one yet? Have any comments on it?
I do.
I had a few months back when you mentioned it.
Okay, wonderful. Now this page, I don't know that you've seen the page before that I linked to there. I'm sorry, Esther?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to look at the page with the audio book on it and the entire textbook and the entire text of the book? Very good. Because this, of course, is an entire full-length book. So this is a fairly long and a long project that we'll be working on for a while. But some of the best writing in the world is in that book. And this lady who does the audiobook, she doesn't do it the way the audiobooks are usually done. She does it straight through. If she makes mistakes, she just corrects them and continues forward. And that, I think, is significant and rather important, because it gives you more of a homey feel about the way it's done, and she pronounces everything beautifully. The commentary on The Wind in the Willows is something I put together at one point. Does anybody have any comment on that? The stories themselves and how they weave together. I'm tempted to try to bring it up here. I'm not sure I have the page at present. Let's see. We're going through
like
the
the
tabs.
on what you wrote it.
Yeah,
Where is
describing the kind of problems that one encounters in The Wind in the Willows, which you don't encounter elsewhere. You never really understand entirely what the animals do and what their relationship to humans is. And then these are mixed together in very odd ways. Not important at all, but there are several chapters in The Wind in the Willows which are in themselves standalone masterpieces. And one of them is mentioned by Christopher Robin Milne. Do you remember which one that was? He mentions that his mother was always so taken by the chapter called "The Library Stone." There are several others that are wonderful too. Is Wafer's All. Wafer's All is which meets a seafaring act, and here's the stories of traveling south to the Mediterranean, and it's full of animals, you see. Anyway, I recommend it highly, and would you like to look at more of that now, or shall I go ahead and talk about other things? This is a question. This is a question to homeschoolers who are willing to speak and think and express themselves.
I mean, as far as like reading goes, I'm fine with Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, by all means.
Of course.
And do the Winnie the Pooh and mix it together with The Wind in the Willows. As you know, there was influence there. And
yeah, they're similar.
Yes, and they were written only about a decade apart.
Wow.
So it was a big thing. And when I was a child, I received, my brother and I received these books from my grandmother, who lived in Kent, which is just really about 40 miles from the 100-acre wood where all of these things took place. Okay, let's go on and look at the next one. The Body in Question. Now,
yeah.
As I mentioned before, much of what I've given you in this class is fairly heavy going, and perhaps more suited to graduate study than to high school. And of course, we're going in the other direction with the children's books that deserve it, whose language has been vitiated, and I'm sure you've read on that. But now we're going in the other direction with The Body in Question. And though this is a popularized documentary, still Jonathan Miller presents things so beautifully, and his language is unrestrained, let's put it that way. And there's some of it's a little hard to wade through, because it becomes a little bloody and difficult. After all, he's talking about, and in a couple of cases, actually dissecting things in front of the camera. But his knowledge of the subject, he was a neurologist after all, though I'm not sure he ever got around to practicing neurology. He went into comedy, being a member of the Beyond the Fringe group, which was Peter Cook and Dudley Moore and Alan Bennett, together with him, which was one of the influences and inspirations for the Monty Python series. but he made a number of documentaries, not just this one. I think this is his first one, but he made a number of other documentaries, another one on madness and another one, The Acquisition of Language. That was fascinating, and especially for our perspective. But put that one on the list. Okay, one of the other things I wanted to do here was look at the older assignments that I had given you. Here's the one that that Trevor suggested, and the Stephen Fry's English Delight, tour of English language by one of its brilliant masters. This interview, there are a number of interviews, one of which I would love to find and I'm still searching for. But yes.
The one on humor and language, I tried listening to that, but it like couldn't find the link. I couldn't find it.
Okay. Well, you know, of course, exactly how to solve that for yourselves, but thank you for pointing it out. I'll try to do it. All we do is
and I tried looking it up on YouTube too. I couldn't find it there either. I was wondering maybe it got deleted.
Very possibly. And of course, that's the answer that I would have suggested. Usually, especially with anything Fry does, half a dozen people are posting it somewhere. And so we should be able to find it.
Okay.
Let me see which one of these that one is. It's not English Delight, right?
No. It's the on humor and delight. When I clicked on it, it said page not found.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that one right there. It's above the photo. It's above that photo. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the one that Trevor gave us. Yeah, we'll have to look for it again and see if we can find it. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. Anyway, these I believe have got to a state where they can be retired to old assignments. Am I correct in assuming that that's the case?
Yeah.
Let's move the humor certainly down. And has everybody read Stephen Fry's English Delight?
Yes.
Okay.
Last time I read it.
Let's retire that one and the Big Think interview.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I listened to that too.
Does anybody need to have those kept in the active list? Okay, good. There is an interview with him, and I'd love to find it. I invite you folks to do research about, if you like, education, and specifically says that he would go to university and they had wonderful teachers there, world-renowned people, and of course that's true. He went to Cambridge. But that's not where he learned. He found that learning was something one did with other people. When you get together with other students in the dormitory and rooms, as he calls it, around coffee and talking about every subject. And this is one of the best ways to learn things. Also to be true. When I was at UC Riverside, I had some excellent teachers and a lot of crappy ones. And however, I was living in a dormitory that was full of enthusiastic students who were each studying their own specific realm and field, and started to put things together. And I organized play readings. We did a lot of Shakespeare. Everybody, of course, had a full a complete set of Shakespeare in their rooms, so that we could always bring ours and do readings. And then we had different students with different fields of expertise give lectures and presentations on different things in the dormitory, including different sizes of infinity, for example, sums to it. And we had a number of physicists and mathematicians in the lot. And I presented a good deal of material about music and language, and others presented other languages, for example. And I found that this was absolutely the best way in the world to learn things. And in some cases, it was useful to find an expert in the field for an occasional consult to understand material that was somehow difficult or needed further expertise on. But for the most, kind of interchange was the ideal way to acquire new skills. And it worked out for me because the skills learned in that environment are the ones that provided me with the with a profession. One doesn't jump easily into a profession if one's majors are language and science. And yet I have jumped very comfortably into the position of teaching computer science, as some of my colleagues in the dormitory were computer scientists, and we would spend all hours of the night downstairs in the physics building but playing around with an old PDP-11 computer and programmable calculators and so forth. This gave me the skills that I was actually able to do something with. I would love, as I think you folks know, to try to establish something like this, perhaps through EIE or elsewhere, just to provide a focus, a nexus of fascination and exchanged skills that could also serve as support for students who are taking online classes. Taking online classes is difficult. You really need to understand the process of online classwork and be able to work on your own. But it helps immensely if you're working with other students who are doing the same thing and with whom you can sit down and work with it. So anyway, this is one of my thoughts, and if anybody has any further ideas, please. Okay, let's see what time we have here.
20 minutes?
Well, yeah, it's 9:23 here, and I started it before 9, so we've gone over 30 minutes. And
Like the whole class.
well, might last the whole class, in which case we will just go ahead. If it doesn't, how many would like me to schedule another one at say 10 o'clock, and we can continue then?
That sounds good.
Having established that, I will make an attempt to do that if they cut us off. The thing is that they limit classes that have more.
Oh, there we go.
Upgraded.
It's me as
We've removed the 40-minute limit on your group meeting.
Yay!
Wow, how about that? I'm
What
glad
happened?
somebody's
I
watching.
didn't get that.
It's on the screen, and I said, well, okay, I have no problem with it then. All right, let's go ahead and go through our agenda from the beginning.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Revised agenda. If we have an online class, presentation, discussions, recitations will be possible. If not, please catch up on the assignments and ask for more if you run out. Okay, who has a presentation? I'm looking at Esther there and Aaron, and nobody wants to do a presentation.
I was thinking of doing one from last week, but I didn't have the time to just write one correct one completely. So if I did one, I'd be just reading off of just whatever Google has, and I don't want to do that. So.
Okay, well, let us know when you do want to do something. You feel like winging something off the top of your head?
I can try to summarize something if that's possible.
Sure.
Let's go on.
Now, you can choose something to summarize, in which case we all know that you'll know something about it. Or the class could suggest something for you to summarize and make it a good deal more difficult. Which would you prefer?
I'm not sure, actually. It's up to you guys.
Okay. Somebody have a
Go
suggestion?
I do.
Trevor, go ahead. What?
Okay, maybe you could talk to us about cybersecurity, because you have an avid interest.
Of course, yeah.
So.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Are you up for that, Aaron?
Sure. Let me see. Something. I could try to summarize my last essay I turned in, if that's possible. Let me try to find it here. Significance. Let me see. Honestly, I can just wing it off of what I know so far.
Yeah, dude.
That'll be probably better. I guess we'll start off with like cybersecurity. For one, it's the top leading like job for the future right now. A lot of people are switching to more jobs that require more online and more technological like what's it called usage. So that's one. That's a reason why I want to try to pursue that, in college. And I really like it because it creates an environment where it's you have an option to, I guess, keep people safe, especially online, where a lot of attackers and users can really, I guess, disrupt your just normal usage on technology. And if you can protect that, and if you have the ability to protect those who are not very tech savvy, that really, I guess, brings like a feeling of importance really to a talent that you can, I guess, learn and try to pursue. I guess, yeah. Um, I don't know. I think for me, the main thing that I want to learn in cybersecurity, it's one, it's kind of cool that you can, I guess, for these are like the lower end like tricks, quote unquote. It's very cool that you can like even small stuff like you can hack like Bluetooth devices, internet devices. It's just I feel like for me, it's a way to, it's an outlet for me to prove that I can actually do something, that I can work for something and achieve a talent like that, especially because a lot of people that I know, especially, do not pursue things like that. They like a more, I guess, how do I explain? More. I think jobs I think will be more stable for themselves, like you know, I don't know, like sports, I don't know, music, stuff like that. I think with this new era of technological advancements that are coming out with new jobs like this, especially in whatever it is, computer science, technological, um, I guess just teaching technology in general. I guess it's more it it helps really with people who do not know this kind of thing. So if I can learn it and then eventually teach someone, that that right there, I feel like it really can really impact that one person's life because now they can go and they can go help somebody else's life whatever they're doing with technology. Yeah. Um, I guess one last point I can cover. For me, what it means as just to really be in the technological world, being that it really means for me personally that if I can if I can learn something new that not a lot of people go over and just like share with them, that really also um, takes me to think just like how important it is to really learn something that someone else doesn't really know, so that you can teach them really. I guess going with that, I guess I'll end with this kind of if if you can learn something and then teach it to somebody else and then they can teach it to somebody else, that one skill that was never looked at your time could be the most popular thing in somebody else's future. And that
Very
could really
nicely put.
impact, and that could very much impact their generation of society as a whole. Yeah.
Very nicely put. That's a nice idea, and I'm hoping that you might take time to do a few more little
Yeah,
presentations
of course.
of
Yeah.
things like that for us. I think that would be super.
Yeah.
Um,
Any questions?
yes, indeed. Any questions? Can you characterize very quickly the kinds of security problems one encounters?
Okay,
I mean,
I think right now what I can describe is more like personal, but I was trying to, I guess, comment as how important it is for big companies especially. And let's look at the military, for example. Right now their cybersecurity, they're so technological advanced that if so, they could probably hack another country's oil tankers instead of sending 1,000 soldiers or a bunch of drones in there just to obliterate their enemy. They can literally access their entire satellite from a computer that could be programmed with someone else's computer. So basically, if the military can attack a satellite, somebody else's satellite that they're controlling their technology with, you're basically controlling the entire country. So if you can be on that side and use that for good, as like on the military, then if you can do that, then you'd be protecting so many people on the on your country, on your side. So if I can involve myself with that, especially, I feel like that will. It's more like a feeling for me personally of that you did something good in your life. So that's like the main reason I would want to pursue cybersecurity.
Have you read any
Going back to
works?
the more personal
Have you read any works on the subject specifically?
works,
For example,
I don't want to celebrate this. Very found this situation where it's like like now so starting like I've access to people that you can school anything. What do you think component would
it was a film.
yeah, it's film.
It was a Illustrator who describes the
Of course, yeah. I'll look to it.
So, it's not just a good job now.
Yeah, so now more like the world right now. It's the space race. Increase further, I guess, violent way with technology. When it's growing generation where it's growing, born into the era of technology are sufficient enough to terrorize the people. Was born, I don't know, generations after me. Guaranteed they'll be put into a technological semi war zone because of how uneducated was because I'm now about this since before it goes to complete then a very chance of learning to the Death Star. Yeah, people that her father was like before it, she was to learn how to disassemble it, and so basically the blueprints of it learning there. Yeah, exactly. Putting
Sense.
yeah.
Another question. What's the word? Sorry, for the security.
Oh, you're talking about this hack. So that puts other people at risk because their confidentiality invaded, especially like change every now and then for any software that we may crack in case we actually just mentioned this. It really those types of hackers are the type of people who the importance of so we all bring up means they hackers will essentially they will with that's good, but they'll damage see other people and they'll try to fix their device. They didn't ask you, so they might have damaged your device, and then the hacker would be more terrorists and just like them. They will essentially hack your device. So we need to worry about as in personal devices like that because those people like essentially you can lock your files. They essentially take over your computer and then they lock files. So basically they think it's affected, so they don't know about it, but you don't know what's going on. That's essentially what we have. So those basically are the main target. There's no sources of targets. So we do my best to protect those, to protect against people. It's always at a arm's length from you. As in, you can check something to the problem with your device. You always need to check, especially because say there was a hashing date where so able to learn from the device and machine learning. So essentially, you have to watch where it was able to be in that, I guess, in the past. So essentially, you should be always related to security. If you, I guess, come up with the appropriate time you be hacked, so if you hack on the lower patch, that's already tells you if you're on the lower patch, I mean, that already tells you that you always have to device. If it ever does happen, always clear device. That's not aspect of learning it. That's the point. And then time to say, all right, since no one's already prevented it, already experienced this happen.
And also, like, I saw a video of a guy's Ring camera.
And then
like,
yes, that.
Yeah, he told, "Oh, I'm a white," and like, I'm here to tell your
So
password.
the had to permission. Especially what happened in that video. This guy, there's a CR system, and the customer wasn't aware of that at all. Right? The Ring was unable to push any information. They about this on the security breach on the patch. So so basically nothing. No one knew about this. So the customer was targeted by any hacker that wants to corrupt his data or sell it or send ads onto it.
Yeah, cold-blooded.
Yeah, the customer was. If the hacker was a hacker or something before, like Graham Black, he would have been very much his email was his full name was his address. You can literally camera on the front. You can literally see anybody. And that like there is a huge reach on the company because right now they lost. I'm thinking they lost a lot of money with that because not only were customers attacked and like targeted, the company was also targeted because they're thinking about this. Before, after it happened, but the customers didn't know. So they knew before the customers were targeted. So because of that, now the customers are suing them because what happened there was this. So the main attack by a hacker because the attacker had sort of this guy was targeted. So on. So that right there for me is a huge inspiration for me to pursue this passion because if you can, well, obviously I mean, like that might be the way to do it. That's not the best way, but if you
biography to explain the research perhaps even journals two sources that take there's so many other questions here. One of them is study on this and it's kind of actually around
in networks, in land connections, anything from over from different parts of the world. would really is not full.
rapidly right now. And it's where going rapidly and it's moving there. And over to station. I think
Yeah.
please do. We're beginning to ask receptive what we can make sounds that work for you and what's your point?
I knew the answers. Oh, sorry. There's a person
We're to
Yeah, I was just doing the
Good one. Yeah.
so there was a few birds and sorry, I'm not sure. And one of guys as far as I go, because it was see everywhere. No, as for that, the middle thing. We even when we like we saw this with like summer ages and said two bird and one and I thought that has
little squibbery of may come. So wonderful things. Again, it's Dale, you're up. You'd have one.
He's all myself. Alive, nothing really to him. Because, like men, look near. That as always make sure striking, breaking on. They make us this is now the shots are on into reading.
The physical class procedure and so when we pictures and
if we want to this go over the
that's
Plus you.
I'll just
bring a chat room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Not yet.
This is very useful for me, but I'm going to talk to technical homes to tell them about that aren't working properly with their Zoom system. So that's worthwhile.
See, it works better than I expected it to.
Okay, I'm going to try to switch windows here. This is likely to be very slow on my poor old system, but I'm going to see if I can open my textbook on the screen.
Do you see it now? I posted in the open chat room.
Wait, on
the writer's
I know,
or like in the
open
chat.
room. That's what it's called.
Oh,
It's a general and an open chat room. I'll refresh.
Last more time that I doesn't come like
I have no.
Okay, so next week there's a very little
Yeah.
I make a piece of class escape if I action is in the middle of that this and about
To use the Discord, were you able to access it?
Wait,
I accessed it.
I think that
I got Discord.
I put in the
Yeah,
open chat
I added you on it. I
Yeah.
sent you a friend request.
already on it.
I know.
I'm tempted to close down my thumbnail pictures just because I think that may be eating more bandwidth that we could use
Okay.
elsewhere.
Okay, what does Kozen mean?
Cousin, yeah,
Cousin.
that's a good one. It means to cheat someone, and especially in the bunco sense of cheating somebody. To cousin, and it's got a couple of other alternatives. Cousinage is the noun, and also cousiny, which is not as common but is used in literature. That is to scam somebody. Scam is a good word for it. Yeah.
So I can say like, my cousin got cousined by her boyfriend.
Absolutely, that would
Okay.
perfectly. Excellent. Somebody else got another one?
Let me see.
Damn, the dam has broken.
Good one.
Nice.
I don't know about this one, but the way weigh is with a scale.
Okay.
Oh wow. The way you weigh is with a scale.
Okay. No, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. I don't see it up here, but then I've lost it. There it is. The way you weigh ways.
Okay,
Right.
I've got another one.
That's a
Wait,
wonderful
if I
one.
can find it.
Go ahead, Trevor.
Wait, no, I had another. Could you go down to Chanel? I had one that was down.
Towards the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Okay, is that got it yet?
Yeah, here it is. Okay. Knit unit.
Where are we? Oh,
Knit. Down.
okay, excellent. No, that's fine. And we scrolled much too low here. But does somebody have one from here?
The cheap smoke detector didn't even wasn't that loud. It only gave a cheap.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Could somebody weave two sets of them together?
Days.
Before he knocked on the door, he took the knob of cheese off the doorknob.
Nice. Wow, that's a good one.
Or how about this? Which witch would live in the wood?
Okay, excellent. That works just fine.
The nose.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent, Holly. Okay. Yeah, these can be a lot of fun, so play around with them and see what you'd like. Should we do some more of
I got
these?
one real quick.
I've got it. So yeah, after you.
All right, so
ahead.
I got one. So would you mind giving me some wood?
Okay, excellent.
What?
That works fine.
Now you're funny.
Oh,
Would you mind?
that was weak. That was a throwaway.
I've got one. How about the new night knew it was night.
Oh,
What?
excellent.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That really worked.
I got
nicely.
one.
Go ahead, Holly.
Days pass like seconds when you're in a daze.
Very good. That's excellent. Anybody else?
Maybe symbol. Try to figure out the one for symbol.
How about ring?
Symbol is a symbol for noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The band. I don't know. The band member looked for the symbol while playing a symbol. I don't know.
It works.
That works though.
Look
Yeah.
for
That was
symbol
dope.
in the sky
It's all right.
while playing a symbol. I don't
That's
know.
tight.
How about ring the ring?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ring the ring. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. Wait, what? Ring the ring?
Like you're ringing it, you know?
Oh, okay.
Ringing the ring.
The what? Wait, what?
Your role is to play the role.
No, your role is to eat a roll.
Yes.
That works.
Wait, no, is roll spelled like that? No, your role is to roll across the grass.
You have to win. How
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
this?
well,
I think
How
that's
about
better.
this one?
Yeah.
How about this one?
No,
You
I
have-
don't know who's playing next.
Wait, what?
Hey, I like that.
how about you have to weather the weather?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Ooh.
He weathered the stormy weather.
Or how about this? The cruise on the cruise had to weather the weather.
Excellent. Got two of them together.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
It's nice to have a dessert in the desert.
Ah,
Excellent.
that works.
Excellent.
There's a lot of oohing and eyeing.
Ah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What's
Rose. Ooh, that's hard. Maybe
I'll spin
root.
the wheel.
Oh, I can do root if no one's done it yet. While approaching the root, I saw grass root. I don't know. The
A root.
sign.
Grass
Yeah.
root
Well,
justice.
while I drove up to the root sign, I saw a small grass root. A root of grass. What is it? How do you say that? Did you say root? Or is it like root of
They're
grass?
both root. Although I believe that root can also be pronounced route.
Oh, route.
I have
Oh.
one.
Yeah. No, I got one too. But go ahead, Andre.
The symbol is a symbol of a loud noise.
Okay. Very good.
I got one. It's too late to see its tail.
Wait, what? Which one is that one?
Like the it's one. So like it's too
Oh,
late.
Oh,
She
yeah.
is too.
Yeah. How about how about this? The deer had lain in the lane.
That works. Has anyone done
Let's see,
weather? I'll do
you
weather.
got your verbs nicely put together, right?
I can do weather. The weather reporter didn't know whether to.
Whether the weather.
The weather reporter didn't know whether to. Oh yeah, whether to. I'm sorry. Something has to do with weather. Okay.
The night.
The weather reporter didn't know if he should. No, that doesn't make sense. Someone else take over.
Oh
Alright,
wait, let
let's
me
do
see if
one.
I got one.
Kind of not. In
I'll
the
do
book.
which. I'll do which.
All right.
The witch didn't know which to use in her paragraph.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's a good.
Snaps on that
I
one.
think that's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which to use?
Hey, how about this?
Except that you can only say that one. I feel
Yeah,
like.
that's true.
How would you write that?
Oh yeah.
Which?
Which?
That's
which-
funny.
Oh, that's weird. Try to attempt it.
Indeed, there are some things that can only be used on the page. Some paranomasis. Remember the word paranomasis?
Oh, I got one.
Word play, basically, and some things only work on the page. There's one that P.G. Woodhouse used, in which he was talking about one of the characters in his work, whose name was Smith, but it was Smith with a silent P at the beginning. So he said, "This is Smith with a P, as in shrimp." And he had spelled shrimp with a silent P at the beginning. But there's no way to say it.
Wow.
I think you folks would enjoy P.G. Woodhouse. I will put some up online if there's interest there.
Is he like a comedian?
Well, no, Woodhouse was a writer. He lived up
Okay.
until the 70s, and he was one of the most prolific writers there's ever been. He wrote around 150 books, and he
Wow.
was reputably able to produce 8,000 words in a day on a regular basis. This is a lot to do, but listen to his writing. It's absolutely superb. I will try to find some really good examples and post something for you. I think you'd appreciate that. Okay. I can see Andre has a visitor there.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Hi there. Okay, now you've done beautifully with this. I think everybody deserves something for that.
Yeah, he has to take his screen off.
There, I would like to find, if I can,
Andre, are you on a
list
laptop?
of
Sorry.
vocabulary terms that I had
Oh, should we
up
play
in
Kahoot
the classroom.
again?
Yeah.
Oh my
can
god.
get
Oh,
to
we
it, let's
should.
do
I would have to screen share the code and then just play it on my
I'm
phone.
going to try to screen share the
Come in here.
screen. It may take a while for it to
I
arrive.
can do it if you want me to.
Well, figuring out how
Do you
that
know
works
what was
may-
that guy's name? The writer?
Okay, I can hear again. There's some sort of an ad that popped up that looks as though it's part of Zoom, and I'm trying to make it go away. Okay, I'm back.
Hey!
I don't know. There were so many. This was the Baron's vocabulary list that I tried to bring up.
Oh,
And
the three.
there's-
I can.
Okay.
There were just so many scripts that were running in the background there that it seems to have trounced the Zoom, and the Zoom's
crashed.
closed on me. So I tried to open it again. Anyway, we're back, and Trevor's up. You're
What?
well, you're the main screen right now. Okay, well, I think what I would love to have done was to test that to see whether it worked, but I fear going back to it is likely to crash things again. So I'm going to let's try something a little less ambitious. But I would like to experiment with the possibility of reading some Shakespeare together.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do that.
Which book?
First, I've got to find it, and I hate to say it, but I fear I may have closed Hamlet. I'm going to bring up the Hamlet page. We may have to open the Gutenberg text again, because we haven't visited Hamlet in a while now. What's the last thing, while all of this is happening, what's the last thing we did with Hamlet? I believe it was discussion of the play within a play and Hamlet's response to that. And President Lincoln's concept, or his content. Oh, that may well be.
You were a little bit.
Make someone else.
Make him party
I can't do
leader.
anything.
Aaron, if
how do
you
you
would
do it?
like to try to go into the classroom and share the screen,
Let me
that's
see
fine
if
with me.
Attempt to find it.
No, it says Dennis Tichenor is the host.
Yeah, you're the
Yeah,
host.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
it does. Yeah.
It also says that we're recording. I don't know where we're recording or how we're going to find it.
It's
but
going
it's
back
nice
to the
to know that
database.
that's happening.
Yeah, it says
I
you're
see.
recording.
I'm going to do the share screen. And here we go. We are sharing Hamlet now.
Okay.
Okay, we're up and going.
Hopefully, it's just
Okay, now this is the conflict, the confrontation between Hamlet and his mother. What was that?
I can't see anything.
Can't see.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one sec. It's still loading it. It's still loading it.
Okay. It's clear to me that we're going to need a hot machine to run this, and I'm going to try to run it on a different machine next time. Also, that one has Ethernet connection instead of Wi-Fi, and I'm hoping
Nice.
that might make it a little better. Okay, has everybody got the screen?
Nope.
Nope, not yet.
Does anybody have the screen?
No.
No.
Yeah. I feel like we should just use Discord.
Bro, on God, we should.
Oh.
How about, should we like individually go and look up the text?
This is the last ditch maneuver if we have to do it that way. I'm going to try stopping my video
Okay.
because let's just see if that will help our bandwidth. And you folks are welcome to do the same if you feel like it, though it's nice to know where you are and who's talking.
Oh,
go.
okay,
Got
there
it,
it is,
got
there
it,
it is,
got
there
Got
it
the
is.
screen. Okay, very
Alright.
good. Shall we, I don't know whether we're going to scroll worthwhile here. It looks like I can scroll. Okay. Why don't we try doing this scene and see how it works? Do we have a
I'll be
Hamlet?
Hamlet. I'll be Hamlet.
And do we have a queen?
Hey, I was. Oh yeah. Wait. Never mind.
Esther, are you ready to do queen? Okay, let's start.
All right. So, mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, come, you answer with the idle tongue.
Go, go, you question with the wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rude, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and we're not so. You are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those I can.
Come, come, and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass, where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Hope, hope, hope.
We need to Polonius.
I'll do it.
Okay.
What? Oh, help! Help! Help!
How now? A rat? Dead for a ducat. Dead.
Oh, I am slain.
Oh me, what hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this.
Falls and dies.
Eh, lady,
I'm
trust my
dead.
word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. thou findest to be too busy in some danger, leave wringing of your hands, peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall. If it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom has not razzed it so, that it is proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in so rude against me?
Nicely done.
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicer's oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words, heaven's faith doth glow. Yeah, this solidity and compound mass, with tristful visage, as against the doom, is thought sick at the act.
I mean, what act? That roars so loud and genders in the index.
Look here upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, a combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leap to feed, and batten on this moor? Ha! Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble, and waits upon the judgment, and what judgment was stepped from this to this? Then sure you have, else could you not have motion, but sure that sense is apoplexy for madness would not err, nor sense to ecstasy was ne'er so thralled, but it reserved some quantity of choice to serve in such a difference. What devil wasn't that thus hath cozened you at hoodman blind?
Notice the use of the word cousin here. Sorry, go ahead.
Can you scroll down?
Sure.
Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, at the
Well, that's
top.
where I am.
At the top.
Okay, but it reserves some quantity of choice to serve in such a difference. What devil wasn't that thus has cozened you at hoodman blind? Eyes without feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all, or but a sickly part of some true sense, could not so mope. Oh shame! Where is thy blush, rebellious hell? If thou cast muting in matron's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax, and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardor gives the charge, since frost itself has as actively doth burn, and reason panders will.
Oh, isn't that amazing stuff? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turns my eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and green spots as will not leave their tint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sky.
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in my ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent lord, a vice of kings, a cat purse of the empire and the rule, that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Save me and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide, that lapse in time and passion? Let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say.
Do not forget this visitation. is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step up between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body's strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
Let's see.
Hamlet?
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal ear do hold discourse? Forth at your eyes your spirits sweetly peep, and as the sleeping soldiers in alarm, you bended hairs like life in excrement, start up and stand in an, O gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper. Sprinkle cool patience, whereon do you look?
On him, on him! Look you how pale he glares. His form and cause conjoined preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there! Look how it steals away! My father in his habit as he lived. Look where he goes even now out at the portal.
This is the very conage of your brain, this bodiless creation intense.
Ecstasy.
Ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy, my pulse as yours doth temperately keep time and makes as healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to a test, and I the matter will reward. Which madness would gamble from? Mother, for love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul. That's not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, while rank corruption mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds. To make them rancor, forgive me this my virtue. For in the fatness of these pursy times, virtue itself of vice must pardon beg. Yea, curb and woo for leave to do him good.
O Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night, but go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue, if you have it not. That monster custom, who all sense doth eat, of habits evil, is angel yet in this. That to the use of actions fair and good, likewise gives a frock or livery that aptly is put on, refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence. The next more easy, for use almost can change the stamp of nature, and either curb the devil or throw him out with wondrous potency. Once more, good night, and when you are desirous to be blessed, all blessing beg of you for this same Lord. I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins, and worse remains behind. Well, one word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this by no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reachy kisses, or peddling on your neck with his damned fingers, make you ravel all his matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft. 'Twere good you let him know, for who that's but a queen, fair sober wise, would from a panic from a bat, a gib, such dear concernings hide, who would do so, know in despite of sense and secrecy, Unpeg the basket on the house's top. Let the birds fly, and like the famous ape, to try conclusions in the basket creep, and break your own neck down.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that?
Alack, I had forgot, 'tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my 2 schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will address fanged. They bear the
Letters
mandate.
fanged.
Fanged, sorry. They bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work, for 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard, and Yao shall go hard. But I will delve 1 yard below their minds and blow them at the moon. Oh, 'tis most sweet when in 1 line 2 crafts directly meet. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night, indeed, this counselor is thou most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, pitying knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Beautifully done, everyone. That was absolutely super. There were so many things in there that are deserving of examination, and indeed the language is in some parts rather difficult, and you might even say abstruse or recondite, perhaps even esoteric. Do you remember those words? And one of the interesting things about Shakespeare's plays is when you have a dead body on stage, there was an awful lot of dragging them around. And why is that? Because there was no curtain, and the dead body is not allowed to get up and walk off. So the only way to get rid of them was to have people drag them around and get them off stage. So that's what's happening here. Indeed. Okay, in just a few words, exactly what did happen there?
Was it Polonius who got stabbed? I forget.
Indeed, Polonius is
Okay.
the one who was hiding behind the arras.
No.
And Hamlet says, "What a
Yeah, I
rat,"
got-
and runs him through, hoping actually that it was Claudius, but it turned out not to be Claudius. And then he gets the opportunity to kill Claudius. Let's see. Now this is later, but he decides not to kill Claudius when he has the opportunity to. Do you remember why why he decides that? I'm trying to find it here.
Because he's
Oh,
praying.
yeah, that's right.
Here it is. This is Lincoln's favorite monologue from Hamlet. And would someone like to?
We read that.
We did read that one. Anybody like to do it and do it with
I
fervor?
could. I could.
Sure,
Okay.
I'll do it.
Which part?
I'm
Starting
I'm
after
sorry,
Polonius exits.
Yeah, we'll just take us from right here. Can you see my cursor, by the way?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I can point at things and you can tell what I'm seeing. Okay, very good,
All right.
Andre.
Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it.
Primal.
A brother's primal
Primal.
eldest curse upon it. A brother's murder, pray, can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger I lost my thought. Sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. And like a man to double business bound, I stand in the pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to confront the visage of offense? And what? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall. Our pardon be down, or our pardon being down, then I'll look up. My fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my soul of murder. Oh, my
Whole
foul
murder.
murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, my own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offense gilded hand may shove by justice. And off this scene, the wicked prize itself buys out the law, but 'tis not so above. There is no suffering, there the action lies in its true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try. I'm sorry.
You okay?
You
My little brother walked in on me. Buys out the law, but 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. The action lies in its true nature. Oh, where'd I go?
Yeah, lost you.
In his true nature. I read nature.
Yeah, it's in
and
the
we
middle.
ourselves compelled even to the, oh, I read that part. What rest? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state! O bosom black as death! O limed soul that's struggling to be free! Art more engaged, help angels, make essay. Essay?
Essay.
Essay.
Yeah.
Bow, stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel. Be soft as sinews of the newborn babe.
How many people?
Enter Hamlet.
Indeed. Now that there's
How
a
many
little
people?
Hamlet does his sotto voce thing here that Claudius doesn't hear, and then Claudius finishes up afterwards. So now might I do it, Pat. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May, and how his order stands, who knows save heaven? And but in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him, and I am then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage. No, up sword, and know thou a more horrid hint, when he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in't. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays this physic, but prolongs thy sickly days. Okay, King, why don't you continue?
Who? Oh, King? Me?
Yeah.
Okay. My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Exactly. This is his conclusion. He can't pray. It doesn't
Exactly.
work. So perhaps Hamlet could just as well have killed him then. But that's one of the cruxes of the whole thing at that point, when Hamlet realizes he has the opportunity but forgoes the opportunity. And then afterwards, of course, is the scene with his mother. There are many questions, and there are lots of language there that's worth looking at to figure out how it works. But you've got the basics, and you folks did a wonderful job of reading. Absolutely wonderful. Esther, you were super in there. And I'm sorry. Holly doesn't appear on our screen, so I don't think about you, but what should have brought you in. I'd like to wind up.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'd like to wind up with figuring out how best we're going to handle these things. It looks to me as though the class is going to work just fine this way. And
Oh,
if we
okay,
can
that's fine.
record it, one of the questions is whether we want to publicize the recording or not. In the past, I have done that, and you'll find that I have recordings of my classes from previous years, but I never had a camera in the classroom. It was always just the screen that was being shared. And although I had a microphone in the middle of the table. And so it worked that way. I don't want to publish something that has thumbnails of everybody's faces, nor indeed everybody's names. So maybe we can figure out a way to do that. I don't know whether we want to do that or not. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if we want it to be recorded though.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Right. Okay. Well, we will stow them somewhere where we ourselves can access them in any case. I found it very useful when I was doing that for doing my grading. I could go back through it and figure out who did what. And today, everybody has done so well. And I'm just very impressed. As some of you folks I knew were going to do well. Of course, did fine, but now I've seen so much more from Esther, Lorian, and Aaron. I'm so glad that you participated. It's going to help your project count significantly.
Yeah.
And we're going to go on to other things that more appropriately lend themselves to this kind of treatment. I'm trying to think of what they will be. Any thoughts at all? I'm going to take us back to our agenda.
So, I think we're good. My audio cut out. Shoot. Right, there you go.
No thoughts?
Oh, okay, so nobody was talking. I thought my audio cut out.
Hmm?
I thought my audio cut out. Nobody was talking.
I'm trying to get my agenda page back again.
Do you guys want to
taking its time.
Yes.
Yes.
It's slowly crawling its way around in circle. There we go. And move you folks over to the other side so that I can see it.
That's correct.
Others and domain.
That's bird.
So
Next week.
we're aiming at next week. We're going to have spring break, and whether you have because we miss so many because and we can compensate for it with that if it fits everybody's schedule. But that's entirely up to you. What are your thoughts?
I'm okay with it. I'm not really doing anything.
Yeah, if I'm not doing anything, I could do it.
It really looks as though most of us are going to be sitting at home anyway, so we
Yeah.
go
Might as well.
and have more classes as necessary. Please, again, use the open forum for discussing things with each other that are not projects, and you can go ahead and use the chat room in the classroom if you feel like it. There are other chat room arrangements to use too, and you can communicate with each other by the messaging system in our classroom. And indeed, if you feel like it, go ahead and schedule Zoom conferences with other members of the class. If you do, please invite me as well if you'd like my participation. Does that sound good?
Very good. Awesome.
Sounds
This
amazing.
this was good. This worked out well.
It'll work well, I think. And again, thank you all. Anybody have anything last to contribute?
Yeah.
Not me. I think I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to bring this, well, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to continue this class on just a little bit because Lorian's class follows it, and we'll be able to do a little
Yeah.
bit, but not very much, because I have to prepare for this other one that I have to do later on. But Lorian, let's go ahead. And do you have a keyboard in your room there?
No, the only keyboard I have is on the my living room. So I'll test it out if you can hear it or not. But yeah.
Okay. In the future for our classes, then let's not worry about it now. I have a keyboard right here on the table, and we can do the kinds of work that we've been doing before. What we can't do is play anything together, because the latency
Yeah.
time is going to make it impossible to synchronize anything. But when it comes to playing things back and forth, follow the leader and the composition and harmonization and so forth, we should be able to do that. It'll be in non-real time.
What is going on in the chat? Oh my gosh.
It'll work just fine.
Spamming.
What was that?
Rivalry.
Okay. Okay. When I opened up the chat room before, it just locked everything, so I'm not going to try to do that. It looks to me as though chat on this machine anyway is not going to work very well.
Hey, wait, what are you guys all doing later on?
Being quarantined.
Because I was wondering maybe like we could like chat on Discord later on or something like that.
Totally,
I
that's
deleted
fine.
I deleted the server.
Yeah?
I'll make a new one.
Okay.
You deleted it?
Come
Yeah,
on,
look at
Adam,
it.
what are you doing, man?
How dare you?
Good.
Brother.
Yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna be sitting here doing nothing. So.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Get around.
Okay, shall I
So
leave this going rather than stop the feed?
You can. I don't mind.
No, you can
I
stop
tell you
it
what,
if
one
you
of the
want.
things I could
Then-
do is turn over the hosting to one of you.
Sure.
Okay,
Or you can just end it too. I probably have to go eat something or
Okay.
something. I don't know.
Okay. Now, feel free to start one with each other. Just message each other if you want to do that. I'm going to stop the whole thing now if I can figure out how.
Okay.
I'm gonna start.
And if you make a new one, send me the link.
Yeah. I'll just wait here. I need a semi-front. Okay.
Okay. End meeting. Thank you all. It was
Thank you.
beautifully done on all your parts.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll
Thank you.
see you next Monday, if not sooner. Catch you then.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.